We are talking love and money ahead of Valentine's Day. Fox 61's Keith McGilvery has more in Studio 61.
Yeah, a little bit for everyone. Whether you are single, dating, or married, this Valentine's Day, there are some things to keep in mind when it comes to loving your finances. Maggie Jandra with Jandra Wealth Management here with some tips. I pitched this idea to you over the phone last week, and of course you said yes, but it's a bit of a talker online. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And so we're going to break this down. We're going to talk to all those single folks out there, and one of your first tips was financial self-love. Explain.
Absolutely. So when you're single, this is the time where you can just focus on yourself. So we talk about self-care, self-love. Let's do some financial self-love. That includes setting a budget. I usually recommend a 50, 30, 20% approach. 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, 20% goes to your savings.
You also stress contributing to your 401k, which we hear a lot. But I want to talk about this. You say to think about real estate.
Yes.
Where's your mind on that front? Because different people have different thoughts on that.
Sure. I think it's a great opportunity when you're young and single to maybe invest in some real estate yourself. Now, I know it's challenging in this market, but a few things are coming up that might be helpful for you. One, we do think that interest rates are going to come down in the second half of the year. Two, you have different loans available to you, such as a first-time home buyer loan. And three, you don't necessarily need to put 20% down, which I think a lot of people don't realize. And the benefit of it is you could build equity, and then when you are married, ready for that forever home, you could sell your investment or initial property for a bigger down payment.
All right, so many people out there dating now. I'm saying if I have a Valentine's Day date, I'm picking up the tab, but you say that dating and money can get sticky, it can get a little uncomfortable. You have some really great ideas on this front.
Yeah, it can. In fact, folks have reported that they are more likely to talk about infidelity or death than money, so it's really taboo. But what I would say is address problems up front or thoughts up front. So if you feel comfortable splitting the bill, right at the start of the date, say, hey, I know there's always a song and dance about this. Let's just split it.
And you have some tricky ways to kind of sneak some questions in there where you're talking about yourself, but it gives you good insight to the man or woman you might be with.
Absolutely. So use I statements. So a great example is, hey, I love to travel, and in fact, I use credit card points to book my travel, but I pay down that credit card every single month. Do you do something like that? Do you have any good credit cards for points for travel? It gives you insight into how they deal with credit cards. Do they like to travel? Is that something you share in common? And what their budget could be about that.
And you could say, is there anything special you're saving for to kind of buzz in on that target word?
Absolutely.
I love that. I took special note on those suggestions there. Want to talk about the engagement period into marriage, another, dare I say, controversial topic. A prenuptial agreement.
Yes. It's controversial because people feel that they're setting themselves up for a divorce. But that is not the case. You don't take out car insurance because you think you're going to get into an accident. You don't take out life insurance because you hope that you're going to pass away. Instead, you're coming up with an agreement as you're going into marriage or as you're getting married, when you're both happy and blissful and you want the best for each other. Also, folks get married later in life now, and so you might be coming to the marriage with some significant assets. Maybe it is fair for you to want to keep those to yourself should you get a divorce.
My parents married nearly 50 years. They always had a joint bank account. Are you in favor of the joint bank account? Do you get separate bank accounts? What do you think?
Personally, it is a personal choice, but personally I think you have a joint bank account for joint expenses, maybe even a joint credit card to get those points as long as you're paying them off every month. But I like the idea of also having separate bank accounts too. The reason is, one, you can buy nice gifts for each other, and two, you have some sort of autonomy. Lastly, God forbid, you are unhappy in the marriage. You do also have a bit of an emergency fund should that be the route that life takes you.
And just lastly, with moments to go, an acronym that you have, ABS, which applies across the board.
Yes.
You say always be saving. It brings us back to the 401k and other things.
Always be saving, especially for retirement. You can borrow for almost anything in life, but you can't borrow for retirement.
All right, some good advice as we go into Valentine's Day. Those dating tips, we'll get them up on our website. Thank you for being here. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.